Memphis is the home of the blues, rock and roll, and Earle Farrell.
From the Collierville Square to the mighty Mississippi, the Earle Farrell for Memphis show is all about good things that happen across the Bluff City and the people who make Memphis cool.
The Earle Farrell for Memphis show is made possible by our title sponsor, Southern Security Federal Credit Union, and by Kathy Thurman Edwards, State Farm Insurance.
By Dive Shop and Dive Ventures nationwide. Jim Ferris Chevrolet with George Gully. Napa Cafe Memphis and Glenda Hastings. Phoenix Unequalled Home Entertainment. For Memphis Magazine. The Live at the Garden Concert Series. And the Orpheum Theater Group Memphis. And by Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, family owned and operated for more than 40 years. Thank you to all the sponsors for making this possible.
And now, coming to you from Lansky Brothers, Clothier to the King, inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel with the heart of a cowboy and Memphis in his soul. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Earle Farrell.
And thank you very much, and welcome to Lansky's. A busy place here today. In fact, you never know who's going to be walking in the door here at Lansky's. In fact, our first two guests just happened to walk through the door, and Hal said, you got to get these ladies on. So joining us here, our first guest of the day is Betty Harper and her daughter, Loretta. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, you both live in Nashville, but you come to Memphis on a regular basis. Both of you have something to do with Graceland. Betty, you have for many years. In fact, that's what your bill is the Elvis artist. And you started out in Nashville doing record albums. How did you get connected with Graceland and Elvis?
Ed Shea, who was vice president of ASCAP, wanted to have an art exhibit of my stuff there on Music Row. And one of the people that came to that was part of the First Tennessee Bank here in Memphis.
Sure.
And this was in 76, I believe it was, December 76. And he invited me to show my artwork at the First Tennessee Bank downtown, which would have been in, it was 77, would have been in August of 78. And in between times of getting here to do that, I hooked up with the city of Memphis, and they used one of my drawings to do a billboard to commemorate that first anniversary. So I had the art show downtown and had the billboard.
Was it this billboard, or is this a different one?
No, that's a mural that I just did for the Elvis Presley's birthplace.
Get a shot of that.
The billboard was done from a drawing that I worked on the day Elvis died. It was the one I was working on.
The trilogy you were telling me about. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it's turned out well for you. You've been doing them ever since. This is a calendar we're looking at right now that Hal, you just gave it to Hal, and he's going to have it here in the store. But these are all your drawings in here. When did you know that you could draw? Were you a little girl?
I started when I was real little, and I got interested in people. I had a classmate, and she said, I drew the comic strips on Sunday, and anything that was in front of me, I would draw. And one of my classmates said, well, have you ever drawn anybody that's real, like a real person? And I thought, well, no, I might as well try that. And so I drew Roy Rogers.
Oh, wow.
And I just loved it. And so from there on, people was what I wanted to draw. And then Elvis came along, and he and I have been together. He was my learning board. In anything, you've got to practice, practice, practice. And so he kept me practicing.
Because he died in 77, so did you ever meet Elvis?
No.
Isn't that amazing?
No, I was always within the circle, but never met.
I got here in 78, and he had just passed several months before that. And so here I've covered a guy, and I've interviewed everybody who ever met him, everybody who knew him. I never met the guy, and it is weird. We were in Graceland before they opened it to the public, and did interviews with his cook and told us, what he liked for breakfast and lunch and all. Yeah. And then she had to go, and Todd Morgan was then the head of PR.
Yeah. We miss Todd.
And he said, look, I got to go someplace too. But I'd known him for years, and he goes, just don't go upstairs. I said, I won't do anything you tell me not to do. And we didn't. And for years, people have always said, you did go up there, didn't you? I said, nope, didn't do it, man. And because I'm sure they had cameras watching. They'd have caught me. But I want to show one of the shirts that you can buy here at Lansky's. And I was looking at this, and I said, the thing about wearing this shirt is, if you're wearing this shirt, you got Elvis on there looking good, and then they look up at who's wearing it, and they go, "Man, I don't believe I'd be wearing that shirt anymore." And so you have other articles of clothing as well.
Yeah, we've done that image right there. He's put on scarves and purses and guitars, and then we had another shirt like that. It was just Elvis with a street sign that says Lansky and Beale.
Of the panel bowling style.
Yeah, the
shirt
panel
like
bowling
that.
shirt, yeah.
And then you are also involved with Graceland. We can only talk about this because you have an NDA, which is not anything like an MBA.
No, it's definitely not.
And you can't talk about it. But you work with textiles, which would be clothing, anything of that nature. And is it restoration work or preservation or both?
It's both, actually. I've been in the wardrobe industry for over 30 years, and I came up in the film industry, so making music videos, features, major movies, and then really working my way out of that and having my own clientele. But all of that experience taught me about cloth and where it comes from, what its makeup is. And when you make movies, you tear up clothes. You don't just have our brand new fabulous shiny things. We actually buy things and tear them up to look like a character. Yeah. By making damage happen, I learned where cloth can tell a story. I now can tell that's a razor blade cut. This is a cut because it got caught on a door getting out of the seat of a car. I mean, the garment can literally tell you the story of what happened to it.
It's forensics.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the forensic of the human being coming out of the garment. And that's what I find to be so fascinating, is it gives you more history that maybe the museum didn't even know about until you're actually in there and really getting, looking at every little detail.
And you can also tell approximately the age of a garment?
Oh, yeah. That I specialized in period costuming and making period movies, so that's my favorite, and that comes from growing up with Elvis in my household. If I wouldn't have been influenced to all of that, would I have ever seen how beautiful Hollywood once was, and would I have chosen to go that path? I don't think so. I don't think I would have. I think it was because whose home I was in is what I was influenced by, and what I was shown led me down that road.
Do you ever go to schools and talk with young people about, because these are two careers, I would, of course, to be an artist, you have to have talent first, but you also have to have talent doing what you do. But who would even know that there's an opportunity out there to do what you do?
Right, until someone goes and says, oh, I think I want to go to archive school. Then they would learn each individual department within it. But
who
just
knew
out of nowhere, who
school?
Knew there was just a textile archivist? That is the fight. How are we going to get stains out of it? How are we going to support it? Does it need resting time? Does it need to lay down being on display? And it can't even be a garment that's upright,
Well, one of the things that, because I'm a big movie buff and also pay a lot of attention to detail, and one of the things that really impresses me is when the costumes and the sets, and you look around, you see all this detail, and you see how much goes into that, and the more that goes into it, the more believable it is, which is what I love about it. You can't talk about how much there is in the way of artifacts at Graceland, but I've been into the warehouse. It's amazing. They never threw anything away.
Right, but it's an opportunity of storytelling, and the story to open up to the next level of it, for it to continue, for that legacy to carry on, and to teach it to the next generations.
So both of you kind of work with Graceland. Do they get a 2-for-1 price, or do you charge them independently?
No, they don't.
Good girls, I like
when
that.
It's art, it's art. When it's time to restore or conserve something, then Angie will let me know.
And what has it been like being with Graceland and Lansky's, Hal and Julie, all these years? I mean, these are great people.
Yeah, well, working with Hal and Julie, they're remarkable and so creative. So it just falls right together.
Well, and they've really become family.
Yeah.
We've known each other so long.
long.
It's really just family.
Well, and that's what we've been doing the show here almost a year, and walking in the place every day to do the show. It is like a family. All the the guys outside parking their cars, we know them, and then you come in, and the bell captain, we know them, and then the people working at the cocktail lounge. That's our green room, is the cocktail lounge. So go have
That's the local of the South that you just love so much of the community.
Well, and can you tell the difference when you leave Nashville and you get to Memphis? What's the vibe like in Nashville versus the vibe in Memphis?
I think it's a little slower here. Now that Nashville has just blossomed.
Has a constant touring thing that happens just on Broadway right there.
Yeah.
That's really changed the city so much.
Yeah, it's changed a lot.
Well, it's I know it's certainly congested there, and I think we were talking about Austin earlier. The same thing happened in Austin years ago. So everybody moved to Nashville thinking it's not as crowded. Now Nashville's as crowded.
Yeah.
And then they'll probably figure out Memphis doesn't have enough traffic, and they'll come here next. But y'all can keep it.
No. We'll give it to you.
So you'll be here a couple of days. Do you always stay at the Peabody when you come to town?
No, this is just kind of a special trip.
Well, good. It is a special place.
But we do like staying here, yes.
Yeah, it is. People told me that the Hermitage was like the Peabody. Then I went to the Hermitage and said, I don't think so. I mean, it's a nice hotel.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's different.
It has its...
It's nice.
I met Minnesota Fats in the lobby. He lived there for many years. And I got up for breakfast early one morning, and we were there covering the state legislature for news. And the manager said, "You want to meet Minnesota Fats?" I said, "Sure." And he said he's sitting right over there reading the newspaper. He comes in, and he lives here. He comes in every morning, reads the newspaper, loves meeting people. Go introduce yourself. I sat and had about an hour of discussion with Minnesota Fats. Never asking for any tips on pool, though. I figured, he would laugh at me just looking at my hand. He ain't gonna play pool. Well, it's fascinating to meet both of you, and I love what you do. Your artwork, and you can't talk about what you do, but I'm sure it's very good. But what great careers, and it's all because of Elvis.
All because of Elvis.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
Enjoy your stay here, and thank you for coming on. And
Thank you, Earle.
we're here on Mondays and Wednesdays. Next time in, come and say hi to us again.
All right. We sure
Thank
will.
you very much for having
Earle.
us.
Oh, you're sure welcome. Yeah. Most recently, the terrible tragedy that happened in Utah and the assassination of Charlie made us all realize even more how important security cameras are, because they helped track down this assassin. They tracked him all over that campus, coming and going, and that's really what led to his capture. And that is one of the things that they do at Phoenix Unequalled Home Entertainment. Jake Hill is with us now. But before we get into security cameras, I do want to talk about Scott Fewling's passing. He was your boss. He had just gone to work for them.
Yes.
And he went in for an operation on his back, and there were complications, and we tragically lost Scott.
We did. Thank you for allowing me to take a moment and kind of honor Scott. He was not only important to me, but to our industry. He wasn't just the founder of Phoenix. He truly was the heart of it. He had a vision for excellence and a way of inspiring people all around him. His leadership and mentorship really shaped a lot of careers of a lot of people that have moved on, but also that includes my career as well. One thing about Scott that I loved seeing about Scott was how he would light up when he talked about his family, especially when he talked about his wife, Danis, and his girls and his grandson. Being able to see him talk about them truly, hits home about how much he cared about them. And a shout out to his family. I know, Earle, you were at the memorial service. Them being able to even speak. I know his father talked, his wife, his daughter, and his best friend Doug all talked at that memorial, and it was truly a really good memorial honoring Scott. And
It was a celebration.
It was. It was.
Of who he was and the relationship he had. His dad did such a good job.
Yes.
He talked about it, and you can imagine. He said, "I lost my best friend and my son."
Yep.
And
Yep.
his best friend said essentially the same thing. He said, when we first met, we liked each other, but they really weren't that close. But
Sure.
as time went on, they spent more and more time together, and even though in many ways they were different, they melded together and had a great relationship and traveled together, and the families did. And
Yes.
I think that's what struck me most. The church was packed, standing room only. Mm-hmm. And you go to, because I have to, and over the years, many people were just, celebrities or people that were, government officials and all. So you cover that because of the news value.
Sure.
But so go to a lot. Mm-hmm. What I was struck most by that service was that everybody there had a truly personal relationship with him.
Yeah.
And they were there because they wanted to be there. And his wife was so eloquent, his daughter was so eloquent, his dad, his best friend. And that's who you should hear from, but it's very difficult to do.
I don't know how they did it, to be honest. I mean, if it was me in that situation, I don't think I could have.
Wow.
And it's just tragic, obviously, but Scott really built something that will continue to grow. We at Phoenix were committed to carrying his vision forward, and his legacy isn't just the company; it's the standard of excellence that he set for all of us.
I did think it was humorous, though. He was talking about, Dennis was talking about, he did have a temper.
Yes.
He especially did not tolerate people that were not very smart.
Right. Yep.
Which I had to laugh at because
Sure.
when you guys were in Colorado, there was somebody working on that job that
Mm-hmm.
was from there. And I guess he thought he said, look, I got to take care of something. Let me hang up. And I thought he said, hang on. So I just sat there and listened. And he chewed somebody a new one.
Yep. Yep.
And I went, woo, I'm never going to go up against that guy.
Yes,
Because,
that is that standard of excellence that I'm talking about. He knew how stuff needed to be done, and he was willing to go to bat to make sure it was done right.
And they got the message.
Oh, yeah. I know it.
How did you meet Scott, and how did it, because I know he was very, very high on you.
Yes.
When he told
Yeah,
me
so actually it was back in May. I had a guy reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I had worked in the Memphis area for a little bit before at Best Buy in the area. And I talked to one of my guys that were out here, and I said, hey, have you heard of Phoenix? And he said, yeah, that's one of the big smart home integrators in the area. He said, go talk to him. And after some interviews, some remote interviews, and then finally going up to meet him in person, it was a relationship that started very strong because we knew that we both had a high standard of excellence. And
he was impressed with your level of expectation.
Yes.
He said, this matches mine.
Yes.
And but he also was very respectful of your intellect and what you could bring to the business. Because I remember he was saying, I think we found somebody because I want to start kind of pulling back some.
Yes.
And this guy thinks like I do, and he was very comfortable with that.
Yes. Yes.
Just tragically, I don't think he wanted to, pull back the way it happened. But
Right.
But I think he felt very comfortable that if anything did happen, you were there and you'd carry on the business
Yes.
and take care of all the people that he's put together over the years.
He had everything in place that if something happened, we would be able to move forward.
And one of the things is, you started out with home entertainment, but you guys have expanded to a lot of other things that have to do with total automation of a home, remote operations of a home.
Yes.
Security is one of the biggest things.
Yes.
And we showed last time you were here some video, actually, of me pulling into your lot there at your business in Bartlett. And I was amazed because the camera rolls on you as soon as you enter the frame. And then it follows you to where I pulled in a parking place. And then when I get out of my car, it zooms into the human and then follows the human all the way into the store.
Yep, that is the truth about home automation. Like, it's supposed to work for you. You're not supposed to work for it. So having our cameras set up the way they are, we do that at a lot of residents that, they want that high level of security. And it's really an awesome thing. They've gotten so far as what they were to what they are now. A lot of the old analog stuff was outdated and fuzzy, and you couldn't get a whole lot. But these new IP-rated cameras give you higher resolution, better quality, and a bunch of smart features that really enhance the experience.
We got some video of the alleged assassin of Charlie. And I was just amazed because it reminded me of the video you brought and we had on the show that Scott provided me.
Yes.
And I said, because it zooms into this guy, he's limping along, and they've figured out since then they probably had his weapon in the leg of his pants.
Right.
And let's go ahead and take a look at this video and just look at the detail and the high quality. This is from TMZ actually sent the video, and I think it was, I'm not sure who was it, but this came from TMZ. You're going to see the alleged assassin entering the frame from the left. And they're able to digitally zoom in, but these cameras also zoom in on their own when they pick up traffic like that. And that's what yours does, correct? Mm-hmm. And then, but look at the clarity of this. And the whole thing is, that's a watermark, a TMZ watermark. I thought that was a reflection off a window earlier, but that's so it says they want you to know where this came from.
Right.
But this is how they track this guy down. Mm-hmm. It worked for the police. In fact, now with these flock cameras, which are all over the country now, including Shelby County, they're on my development out in Collierville.
Sure.
They not only read license plates, they pick up scratches, color deviations on a fender, remember all of that, and say, find this car wherever it's been in our system. And it will show you all the locations, time, places, and events. And it's amazing. But those are the kind of things that not only protect you, but it helps them track individuals down if they do something to your property, to somebody in your family.
Right.
This is how they're going to end all crime, really, because you can't get away from it.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people are iffy on the whole AI thing, but I know that's where the future's going, and the AI technology that's going into the cameras is really, that's what that is all of the stopping points of where everything's being located and all the features like that.
Well, and people say, well, that's an invasion of privacy. I said, not if you're not breaking the law.
That's right.
I mean, here's how you avoid having to deal with that. Mm-hmm. Obey the law. Mm-hmm. You ain't going to have a problem.
Yep.
So what are most of your requests for? When people first get a hold of you, does it depend on where they see your work done?
Yeah, usually. It depends on what stage they are in the building process and all that stuff. A lot of people, they'll honestly call us because they see our vehicles driving around.
Which I see all the time.
Right. And like we had a guy last week come in, he's got a plot of dirt right now, and he's already starting to think of what smart features am I wanting to add into my house. And that's the best time to get us involved because we can be a part of the structuring and everything as far as what we're going to implement and how we're going to plan out this job. And it makes life a lot easier when we get started really early in the project.
I told Scott that when I got my first plasma television, we hired these guys, these goobers, and they came over and drilled a hole in my wall and into a water pipe.
Oh, yeah.
And squirted across the room into an oil painting. And they said, "Where's your shutoff valve?" And I went, "I don't know." All of that they should have found before there. They should also have stud finders and metal, structure finders. Mm-hmm. But that's when I found out how important it is to have somebody knows what they're doing on the front end.
That's true.
And the installation. And then also keeping in mind with the technology that's coming, you have an idea of that. In fact, you're going to a show out in, was it Vegas this year?
It was out in Colorado. We went there, yes.
And so that's where you find out what's coming, because when you're planning for something for somebody, you want to be able to advance them.
That's right.
And not have to take everything else you've done. You just want to add to it and make sure it's all integrated and it works together. This is another thing. Right. A lot of people will buy a television and an amp and speakers, and they're not compatible.
No, not at all. And it's just crazy, When we do a job, the reason why we're unequaled is because when we go through and we're in the building process, we're taking pictures of everything. We've gotten in situations where we're helping other trades because we have all the videography, all the photography of everything before that drywall went up. So if a plumber's like, man, I know I put this somewhere, but I honestly don't remember, and he didn't mark it down, we go back in our videos and we find whatever the other trades need to help bring that project to life. And really just building that relationship with the other trades and that client really shows that, we know what we're doing, and we've been doing this for a while.
Well, before you come on again, next time I want to go to one of your installations and show how you do things. Maybe we can go to one that you're just starting out with, then go back and look at a finished product.
Yeah.
Because when I first met Scott, you had a showroom, and you've since have your own freestanding building. But then you had all the stuff in there. They said, we got to where we were building them so fast and all over the country that we said, we don't need a showroom. We'll just show people what we've done.
That's right.
And so these are live, real models that work and are functioning even as we speak. So
That's right.
We'll go check that out and take care of that. If somebody's interested in talking to you about security cameras or anything else, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can give us a call at 901-624-0940. You can call us anytime. We will call you back if we don't answer, but if you need anything, we do the free consultation, so we'll come out to your house and see what all you're looking for and bring your project to life.
Great. Jake Hill, thank you, sir. Good seeing you again.
Good seeing you. Thank you.
You bet. We're going to take a break and hear from some of our other sponsors, including Jake, and then we'll be right back and introduce you to the Duckmaster here at the Peabody. So stay with us.
Hi, I'm Dawn Grader, President and CEO of Southern Security Federal Credit Union. We're the proud title sponsor of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show, coming to you live from Lansky's in the world-famous Peabody Hotel and celebrating all of the great things about our great city, Memphis, Tennessee.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm so proud to be part of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show, streaming live from Lansky's from the Peabody. We will be showcasing not only Napa Cafe, but some great restaurants around town. We look forward to seeing you.
Hello, Memphis Mid-South. And first, I'd like to thank you for visiting with Earle Farrell Memphis today, and we want to support him just like you do. I'm George Gully, one of the sales managers at Jim Carey Chevrolet. We've been in business here in Memphis for over 75 years. I've been associated with the company for almost 25, and I'll help you find the right car, truck, or SUV here at not only our Chevy store, but also Buick, GMC, Nissan, Subaru. We can help you find that right car. Keep watching, Earl, and come see me. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Kathy Thurman Edwards, State Farm, and I'm so excited to be one of the sponsors for the Earle Farrell from Memphis show, broadcasting live from Lansky's at the Peabody. And I'll tell you all about what we've got going on at our office. Gift cards for quotes. No purchase necessary. I'm better looking than a lizard.
Hi, this is Randy Wright from the Dive Shop and Dive Ventures in Memphis. We've been in Memphis over 64 years teaching people to dive, snorkel, and swim. We'd love to have you come join us and have some fun. We're also a part of the Dive Ventures group with 18 locations across the country, stretched from Phoenix to Vienna, Virginia. Please give us a call. We'll be able to take care of you at 999 South Yates in Memphis, or call us at 901-763-DIVE.
Hi, I'm Brett Batterson, President and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group in downtown Memphis. We are so pleased with our partnership with the Earle Farrell Show and very happy that he is broadcasting live from Lansky's at the historic Peabody Hotel. We're all here to make Memphis better.
Hi, my name is Jameson Totten, and I'm the director of Live at the Garden and the Radiance Amphitheater. And we're so excited for our 25th year of Live at the Garden here at the Memphis Botanic Garden. We've got a great lineup for you this season, so come on out.
Hi, I'm Olivia Wall, Director of Marketing and Communications for Memphis Botanic Garden and Live at the Garden. We've had Earle Farrell right along the way for the past 25 years, and we can't wait to talk more about the season this summer on the Earle Farrell for Memphis show.
So come out to Live at the Garden. Our first show's on June 21st.
Hi, I'm Mitch Wright. And I'm his son, Mickey. And we're the owners of Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And proud sponsors of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show.
We're thankful to be part of the Memphis community. We've been in business for 42 years, taking care of people and loving the people of the Mid-South.
Hey, my name is Jake. I'm with Phoenix Unequalled Home Entertainment. I just wanted to introduce myself and kind of what I do here at Phoenix. I'm a sales engineer. A lot of the times we talk about home theaters, but there's so much more that we offer. We offer a lot of home security solutions, as well as water detection and everything. So if you guys ever need anything, give us a call. We'll get you guys fixed up.
And welcome back. And joining me now is somebody that is no stranger to the Peabody or Lansky's, Kenon Walker, who is the Duckmaster here at the Peabody. And he gets up in front of crowds 4 or 5 days a week, and right. He's not a shy guy at all, but he's very good at what he does.
Thank you.
And in fact, we've got a picture of him here standing up in the main lobby, welcoming everybody to the March of the Ducks. They bring them down in the morning, they take them back in the evening, and we brought our little grandson down here this past spring, and here's a picture of Kathy with Hudson, our grandchild, and meeting Kenon and holding the duck cane. We sell a lot of duck canes here at Lansky's.
We do. Yeah. People come out, every once in a while, I'll sign a duck cane for somebody.
There you go. Well, everybody is so accommodating here at the Peabody that I mean, it is not canned at all. Every one of your, because I've heard a dozen or more of your talks, and it's basically the same, but it's not canned. You change it, and you talk about what's going on this week and who was just here. So you really make the guest feel like, you're getting some inside information on what's going on here. How did Jimmy Ogle's the one first told me about you, and then because he was a Duckmaster years ago. Mr. Penbrook was the original Duckmaster.
That's right. Correct? Yeah, 51 years he held the position.
Wow. And I think one of their biggest concerns is how do we replace Mr. Penbrook? But there have been some very good ones. Jimmy was good. You're great. How did you find out about the job, and did you apply? Did you have to come down to audition? How did that work?
Not for me. It happened very, very organically. Prior to coming to the Peabody, I was already an actor, theatrically trained actor since I was 13.
Wow.
My path eventually led me to being the lead tour guide at the National Civil Rights Museum for 7 years.
Wow.
I created the first guided tour for the Stax Museum, stayed there 6 years. Did African American history city tours with a company called A Tour of Possibilities, and my daughter's 15. So prior to me coming, I was already a theatrically trained performer, a historian, public speaker, and a father. In hindsight, those things that ended up being preparation for an opportunity they offered me when I came here. But I came to work as a concierge. That was my plan. Duckmaster was not on my radar, nor was it on the list of things I thought I'd grow up to be.
Yeah.
When I got here, there was a Duckmaster named Anthony. Anthony Petrina was the Duckmaster at that time. The assistant to him, Doug Weatherford, right?
Sure.
Doug happened to be the hotel historian. He knew who I was from my tour guide days. So when he saw me at the concierge desk, he said, I know you. You're the tour guide, Civil Rights Museum in Stax. So every day that Doug would march the ducks, he'd come over to the concierge desk and we would just talk, just picking each other's brains.
Yep.
We became friends because we both had a passion for history. 3.5 months later, Anthony's wife had a baby. He became a father. He left. Doug became the official Duckmaster. He walked up to me one day. He said, Kenon, I've been watching you. I said, Doug, for what?
What did I do?
Yeah, what's going on, man? He said, no, I really think you have what it takes in all areas to be successful at being a Duckmaster. Right? He offered me the assistant Duckmaster position. I'll be honest, I said no. I said no initially. Because I had just been promoted from the lobby concierge to being the private club floor concierge 1 week before he asked me. So I'm on a private floor, open bar, high door
VIPs.
VIPs. And it was just me hosting a happy hour for the club floor guests.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice. I said, no, Doug, I think I'll stay here, man, but thank you. He said, think about it. He came right back to me the next day. Kenon, you think about what I asked you yesterday? I said, yeah, man, I thought about it yesterday. I don't want to do it, but thank you. He walked off for a second, literally looked up at the sky, nodded his head, had his cane in his left hand. He twirled his cane 3 times. He came right back. Kenon, really think about this. Make a long story short, I told him no 3 times. He asked me 7 times.
Wow.
I said, Doug, you're adamant about this. You see something I'm not seeing here. So I prayed about it, woke up the next morning, had a complete sense of peace about trying it, and a certain level of excitement about what maybe I could bring to the ceremony as a public speaker, as a historian, as an educator, and as a father. That was February 23rd, 2019. I accepted the assistant Duckmaster position. January 2020, pandemic's coming over. Doug's older man, he was at what they call the at-risk age.
Yep.
He left one day. The day after he left, they shut the club floor down for 2.5 years. Meaning if I had not taken that assistant, I'd have been laid off completely. Yeah. I stepped out of assistant Duckmaster into the official. As the floor I was a concierge on closed behind me, and then 2 months later, the world changed around me. So what I realized is that I was offered an opportunity to use a platform to bring some kind of hope and joy to people during the time when we all needed it.
Well, you're so good with children. And I think that's one of the outstanding things about you. I see it happen all the time. They're outside, can't see you, so you can bring them around.
Right.
You sit in front of the big people.
Right.
And I think that was all part of God's plan.
Yes, absolutely.
He knew that you were going to reach the kids, the middle-aged people, the older folks, and make them all feel special and tell the Peabody story in a very special way, because there's just so much of a story to tell, and you really don't have that much time. And even though you do it twice a day, it's it's you want to convey the facts, but you also want to make it interesting and fun and
absolutely
and something for everybody. Who are some of the people you've met over the years, and do they always identify themselves, or do you just spot them and go, "Hey"?
Sometimes it's both. You know what I mean? Sometimes, a matter of fact, I'll never forget. I was doing the Duck March one evening. I look over, Daryl Hannah and Neil Young are sitting at the table. So I look over, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, well, hello. You know, one day I was doing the Duck March, I look on the mezzanine, Jimmy Smits is looking down at me.
When he was here filming?
When he was here filming Bluff City Law, right? Which I ended up being on the last episode of as a bailiff that arrested Sydney, his daughter. But David Arquette's a very, very good friend of mine. I met him through some people that I met here. I didn't know what they did at the time, because when I meet someone, I don't have an agenda. So it's not like, you're a VIP.
You're not looking for something.
I'm not looking for anything. I have no agenda at all when I meet people.
They love meeting people like that because you're not after anything.
I'm not after anything. Yeah. I mean, I'm the person here to provide the service. You know what I mean? And I'm the only person officially that can put Duckmaster on his tax return. So I'm kind of in a unique position, you know?
I am the Duckmaster.
I am the Duckmaster, you know? But when you meet people, especially entertainers, who are used to providing the service for the world, and they don't have to do that when they come here. When they meet me, I get a chance to provide something they can't see anywhere else. So it puts them on the other side of that entertainer, seat. And I've been blessed to have a lot of friendships with people, from all walks of life, because of this platform and because of the charm that it brings, the history that it's a part of. But then just being genuine. I think you can feel when somebody's being genuine with you versus if they're just going through the motions. Hey, how are you? Welcome. I'm the Duckmaster. It's like, no.
A lot of people like that in broadcasting because they have their broadcasting voice and then they have their conversational voice. And when they're two different voices,
right,
it ain't real.
Right. I try to be as authentic as possible because, again, this wasn't my plan. So I let the plan lead me.
Absolutely.
To stay present in the moment, stay in tune with who you cross paths with, and share that moment. And they might share that moment with you.
The family. I first came into the Peabody with Gary Bell's 1980-something, and it was empty, big empty room with a light bulb on a stick in the lobby, no fountain or anything else. And they just bought it and get ready to start the renovation. And it's just been amazing to see. I was telling Rob the other day as we were leaving, I said, have you been up to the Grand Ballroom yet? He said, no, I haven't. I said, we'll go next time we come and do the show. It's like going to Versailles.
Right.
This is like some European palace that people can come and stay in Memphis, Tennessee. And it's great working here. To walk into this place every day and get to work here is a privilege. I mean, we feel that way.
Yeah, not a bad place to call the office.
No. And for people that haven't been here, they think about wanting to bring their grandchildren or children down to see the ducks. Encourage them to do that because it's an experience the kids will never get over. And they'll remember it the rest of their lives.
Absolutely. And the fact that I've seen kids come in maybe intimidated at first. They don't know who I am. They don't know what's going on. Like, who's this guy in the Captain Crunch jacket? What's happening in here? But when you can see that, okay, all right, I see you're afraid. I mean, the way I love reaching the kids, especially if they're afraid at first. It's like, what, hey, I understand. There's a lot going on in here. I was going to ask you to help me feed these ducks, but I don't want you to make them afraid because no one was afraid till you were afraid. There's no reason for you to be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
I picked you because you're you.
Yep.
Everything you need is already inside you, but I need you to believe in yourself same way I believe in you. So if you feel brave enough to come help me feed these ducks, I think you'd be happy you did it. And, man, you see, I want to do it. I want to do it. Yeah, I want to do it. When you see that transformation, there's something kind of magical about that because you just created a core memory from something genuine and still instilled in them confidence. There's nothing for you to be afraid of, man. You know what I mean? I picked you because you're you. And when the kids come back multiple times because of that one encounter, as a father, that's it's life-changing. It's heartwarming.
Well, you treat them like people, not like little kids.
Right.
And that's many kids. That's the first time anybody's ever talked to them and didn't use the baby voice, And you just talk to them like they're, And I think asking them for help shows how generous they are. They won't do it if you say, do you want to do it? They say, I really need your help. Will you help me?
Right.
They always want to come through for you.
Right. And one thing I always ask the children is, how do you feel right now? How do you feel? Because instead of me telling you how to feel, I'm asking you, tell me, how do you feel right now? Especially if people sign their kids up to march the Ducks with me. That's a huge crowd. Sometimes it could be a few hundred people, maybe even 1,000 people in this lobby. For a child to have all of these people looking at them, that's a lot of pressure. Some people's biggest fear is public speaking. So when I asked the kids...
Did you ever have a problem with public speaking when you were a little kid?
You know what? My mom put me in a theater camp when I was 13, and kind of keep me out of trouble that summer. And improv exercises came so natural to me. That's the kind of stuff I was getting in trouble in class for doing anyway. You know what I mean?
Me too.
Yeah. So when I had an outlet to express that, and there was a reaction on the other side of that, that feeling of accomplishment, that changed my life. So eventually... I lost all fear of public speaking or worrying about how I'm being perceived, because I think at one point I started operating in purpose. And one thing you can't do is, I can't control what you feel, but if I made you feel something, then whatever I did had an impact. You know what I mean? So yeah, this public speaking, confidence, and when you ask those kids, how do you feel? And when they take time to think about it, it's like, I feel good. I feel excited. You know what I mean? That sticks with them when this ceremony is over.
Absolutely. They also made an impression on me whenever I did disturb the class and made them all laugh. They took me down the hall, and we got the wooden paddle.
Yep.
And, it didn't stop me. That's when you know you're on a mission.
Me neither. Right. Absolutely.
Well, Kenon, you're a great addition to the Peabody. I'm glad you're here, and I think the Lord has you exactly where He wants you.
Thank you. I feel very blessed.
And come down and see. You're off on Mondays. That's why you got to come on my show today. But so you're here Tuesday through what?
Wednesday through Sunday.
Wednesday through Sunday.
Ironically, Doug Rutherford, the man who opened the door for me, he retired for 2.5 years, but then he came back out of retirement.
He couldn't take it.
It's two men. It's hard to let that cane go. So he's here on Monday and Tuesdays. I'm here Wednesday through Sunday.
He does a great job. We had him on the other day.
Oh, he's a good man.
So both of you are. We'll see you again, because we come in twice a week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity, too.
You bet. Kenon Walker, everybody, the Duckmaster. All right, we got somebody coming up next, Ken Hall. What did I call him? Kenon. Because in my mind, I had it as Keynan. Remember Kenon. And now we have Kenny. And I know his name because I've known him for 20 years. You want to come on up, and then we'll swap seats? Every issue of For Memphis magazine, they have what's going on in the magazine. The guy that compiles all that is Ken Hall, who's also with Church Health, and he is graduating into the high chair here and putting on a headset and getting set up. The new issue of For Memphis magazine just came out.
Hot off the press.
Oh. In fact, it's sizzling over there.
Sizzling, indeed.
And this it's not an easy thing to do, to compile a list of all the things that are going on, because so much goes on in Memphis.
I would tell you this actually takes hours to do.
Literally hours.
And one more pitch. Dear nice art organizations and people, if you would tell me your information and not make me go dig for it for hours,
got a better chance.
I will happily publish that for you. But it's fun. It's fun. And we even have late breaking news.
This stuff isn't even in the magazine.
It isn't even in the magazine.
Let me hold the magazine over so we can see it.
Get a shot.
All over the city.
That's not me on the cover, by the way. That's somebody else.
And great fashion model. And
absolutely.
All these people ask me, where do these cover girls come from? And they're all professional models. A lot of them are out of Nashville. They come down and they shoot. The magazine is actually, I'm impressed with every issue that comes out.
It's gorgeous in every way. It really is.
People from around the country, New York, L.A., Dallas, and they go, this is as good as any magazine in the country. And this is Ken's touch, although he does a lot of other stuff.
Oh, gosh. Guess what I did yesterday?
What?
I worked the Kirk Whalum concert.
Oh, wow.
Which was fantastic with Lindsey Webster.
I saw that it was coming.
Yeah.
And,
we did, they did great songs, beautiful music. I did 18,923 steps in 9 hours. Literally.
You got the little tracker thing on you?
Oh, yeah. For the lovely concrete floors of Crosstown. But, yeah.
See, that's why I don't wear one, because then Kathy would look at, What are you complaining for? You only went 8 feet yesterday.
Oh, it's fun. I love working with Kirk. Such a gentleman, so talented, and just one of the many in our town. We've got all kinds of musicians and artists, and this is the season, my friend. September and October.
Starts now and goes all the way through the first of the year.
Yeah, page 20 on the magazine here. Pick this up. They're all over town. They're free, and you're going to find something to do every week, multiple things. You're going to have to choose some days between things. And I did mention late breaking news because there's a couple things that we didn't get in there. By the way, for those of you nice young people who want to go to Memphis Music Fest and don't want to buy a ticket, they need some volunteers. How about that?
There
Free?
you go.
The Volunteer Odyssey website. I'm going to miss it this year because I'm going to the Mighty Roots Music Festival down in Clarksdale.
Which you went last year,
Yeah,
didn't you?
I worked with that with my friend Howard down there. We put that on and just have a great time.
Is it at the Shack Up Inn? Is that where
No, it's north. It is actually in Stovall, Mississippi,
Okay.
which is 6 miles north and west of Clarksdale, in his family's historic 150-year-old gin, which we've converted to a venue.
No,
It
that's
is
not
so
gin
cool.
you drink. It's gin. That was
Depends
a
on the time of day.
cotton gin.
But we start out the cotton gin and we mix a few beverages before the night's over. But that's this weekend. The Sheet Cake Art Gallery in the Edge District, which some of you may have been to. Lauren Kennedy runs that. She came from...
Is that the dessert party you invited us to one time?
No, this is newer than that. We had the Celebrity Bake Sale and
Yes.
Art Show. That was about
And
20 years ago, down on Kansas Street.
Yes, in old warehouse.
You were there.
building.
She's been the
She
sheet
made
cake.
the sheet. Yeah, that's
yeah.
why I thought
I
it was
wouldn't have let her into the other one because she was too young to drink at the time.
I kept saying, should we take them brownies? And then they said, probably not.
Kathy made something wonderful and covered for you. That was fun. We were innovative even
Yes.
in those days.
But you've always been involved in the kind of stuff that is cutting edge. And what can we do? And you've done it with art. You've done it with so many different things.
I'm blessed to be around the creative types, like Kirk, like Savannah White, like so many others. And Memphis is full of it. We've got an opening this weekend, Saturday, at Sheet Cake. Beautiful gallery. You remember from the old, I guess it was Tasty Bread, where Orion Federal Credit Union is now.
Yes.
This is across the street. That whole district. You've got restaurants and art galleries and the ravine where the brewery is, and many things happening. It's beautiful.
Well, speaking of that, today, I don't know if you heard or not, the Moulin
yeah.
at Cooper Young
Caught
burned.
fire.
Did we know?
Vinahood fire.
Is that what it was?
They evacuated at lunchtime, Moulin and Beauty Shop. We saw a post from DKDC that they have no damage. I think an employee was slightly
I heard
injured.
they took him to the med.
So that's
burning.
scary stuff. You know, the restaurant business, that it's hard enough without it catching on fire.
We used to have people always pulling the fire alarm at sleep outs just for fun.
Well.
And then the fire guys would show up, and they still had to come in with their axes and their fire gear.
And they would say it's not fun after all.
But it was always had a lot of attractive young ladies there. So
Oh,
the firemen standing around going, well, we got to
Yes.
check, make sure everything's out. And,
Well, you had the cool band on Friday nights.
we did. And
Oh, my gosh.
And can we all just stay in here because it's cold outside?
Unless it's an alley party, then
Yeah.
we got to go. And then the next weekend, the weekend of the 11th, it's amazing. Paint Memphis, the Street Art Festival. This is new from the magazine. The Valentine Evergreen Green Line Art Walk, that beautiful, up toward Rhodes.
Yeah.
You go to Cleveland, and they'll have artists all up and down the Green Line. The Beethoven Club has a concert that day. The Country Blues Festival at the Shell. The first one was 1969.
Wow.
You're going back to Jim Dickinson. The North Mississippi All-Stars will be receiving at that event a brass note. And, Cody and Luther, Dickinson, Jim's sons, carry on the tradition. Usually, sometimes Steve Sell would just sit in with them occasionally. The Sons of Mud Boys, that formation.
Yeah.
But this is a wonderful thing that's really kind of unique to Memphis, is that Country Blues Festival. There's been a documentary film made about it from the early years. What else do we have? We have David Luss Gallery on the 14th celebrates 30 years in business as an art gallery. That's 30 years in business for anything is a big
amazing.
deal.
Yeah.
when you're talking about 30 years in the art business, which is difficult at best, that's an amazing accomplishment.
You know, I can remember back when there was only like one or two art galleries in the entire city. Lusk was one of them.
Yep.
And over the years, Pat Halloran had an art gallery.
Fun place, yeah.
But there's so many, and you go up and down Front Street and downtown area.
Yeah. On Front Street, Lisa Kurtz, that's where David got his start, working for Lisa, the Front Street Gallery. Then she moved over to White Station. And 30 years ago, it was Ledbetter Lusk.
Yeah.
Baylor Ledbetter was his partner, who's now married to Howard Stovall, so we're having the festival down there this weekend. But David's done a great job in presenting high-quality art to this region. And he has a gallery in Nashville as well. So kudos to him. And your chance to buy something possibly more affordable would be starting that very same weekend, hot off the walls. This is some emerging, some established, but artists with pieces at the Dixon. This is the prelude to the Art on Fire, which is such a great party.
It is a great party.
On the 18th.
I just hope it's cold the night they have it, because they build this huge bonfire and this big colander, and they have actual firefighters that are there stoking the fire, because if it got out of hand, they want somebody there could put it out.
Which is very important to do.
Yes.
But you don't want to be in your fleece and your flannel standing around the big fire if it's 85 degrees.
Believe me, you won't be if they build that thing up. You say, I'm moving back a little further.
That party's been around for several years, but it's always fun.
Yeah.
A lot of restaurants. And what happens with the hot off the walls is these emerging and established artists have kind of their own tent. Now, you're going to be able to go starting on the 14th during business hours and shop for 5 days. I would also mention it's a week ago, but still going on, the Art for Jobs that Advance Memphis did. A week ago Tuesday, I worked on that one too. They had 250 pieces of art, and it was amazing at their warehouse. Now, some of that, they sold a lot of it, but some is still online, and you can go in and find art by probably 60 different Memphis artists. This is a great time in Memphis to find wonderful art that you can afford, right?
Well, and it's so accessible because of the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, before you had to go to the art gallery.
Right.
And
Which I still like my white wine, but the internet's helpful.
Can't get white wine online.
I haven't figured that out yet, but I think AI will fix that if it doesn't kill us first. But that's coming up. Repair Days at the Metal Museum. We
Great
love
event.
That's a fall event if ever there was one. Down on the Ribeye again, even though there
always will be.
Campus.
In fact, a lot of people have asked me, is the blacksmith facility going to stay there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it will.
It's the best view of the river in the city. Oh, my gosh.
And they do such incredible things there. You take anything, nobody can fix this, and they sit there and heat it up, pound it out, and let it cool down and say, get it out of here.
Kind of like the Waffle House slogan, except it's different.
Yes, and you can't eat it after you get through it.
It's shuffle slice, I forget what it is. But for the metal, we're looking at October the 16th through the 19th down at the Metal Museum, which is going to be great fun. Opera Memphis is coming to the Crosstown Theater the 18th with I Hear America Singing, some great traditional music, including some Broadway numbers. Love the Crosstown Theater. As I said, I was just in there yesterday with Kirk. 419 seats, a parking garage right there. It's very safe, very quiet, easy to get to. We love that. It's busy during the day, but on the weekends, parking is easy. You know, we got Monogram Foods that they moved their corporate headquarters across town. Yeah,
that's right.
150 more people fighting for parking
Just what
spaces.
you needed. More people.
We're glad to have them. There's still plenty of parking.
That's the first question I ask everybody is, how far do I have to walk after I park?
They've got an elevator. You just have to park on the roof and take it down. River Arts Festival's coming back to Riverside Drive, which is so lovely. Right on the river, 18th and 19th of October. 2 days, high quality. It's juried art from all over the U.S. People send in samples, JPEGs, pictures, and if they make it past the jury, they're allowed to come and exhibit. It's about 200 exhibitors. So,
you passed over the Soul of the City, Elmwood Cemetery. I'm having Willie Bearden and his wife
Yep.
coming on here.
Yep.
I think it's next week. And Kim.
Kim, she's lovely.
They're going to come on and talk about all they're involved with, including the Elmwood Cemetery.
That is such a fun party.
It is, and but they also do the Halloween. They have
movies out there.
The movies out there, scary Halloween movies.
Kim Bearden has really put the programming on front burner out there. They're a power couple in the best way.
Yeah.
They're a creative power couple.
Because they're not pushy.
No. And they take these wonderful rambling driving vacations.
They do.
All those little things along the highways that you thought, I'll stop and see that one day.
They do.
They actually do.
They actually do. Yeah, we're going to talk about some of that. But Elmwood, was designed. People used to go to church, get out of church, take a picnic lunch, and go have lunch with their relatives.
That's right.
It was a park.
Picnic on the grounds kind of thing.
And they're helping to bring that back. It's a place of celebration,
it's beautiful out
and it's unlike any cemetery I've ever been to.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that most people haven't been to anything that nice. That little chapel where they do the events, everything is first class.
What Tucker? There was the architect that built it.
Oh yeah, Jack Tucker.
Jack Tucker,
Yes.
who was a big downtown architect and loved Memphis,
Yes.
loved everything about it. And his wife, I worked with
Cindy
at Channel 5.
Cindy Gribbets Tucker.
Yep.
Shakespeare at the Overton Park Show on the 19th.
To be or not to be.
I will be there. To be there
is to be there.
On time.
And not be square.
To go to the food truck, it shall be. Tennessee Shakespeare Company, another great theater group here in Memphis. They're doing, kind of like Opera Memphis did 30 days of opera all over. They're doing a month of Shakespeare in different communities and places.
We're going to have a friend of mine from Texas who lives in Prague now.
Oh, fun.
And there is a Shakespeare theater in Prague.
Lovely.
And he acts in all of those productions and loves Prague. So we're going to have him do a Zoom in here the next week or so and talk about that. And then I've got a friend who's actually in the Shakespeare Club here in Memphis.
Okay.
Just moved back to Memphis from California.
You're hanging out with cool people. What can I say?
I keep running into them. I don't know how it happens because I don't go to any place that's cool.
You make them come to you. I like this plan.
Yeah.
What else we got going on? Late breaking news. Askew, Nixon, Ferguson, architects. They've got that beautiful art space. Their last show of the fall opens on the 24th. Matthew, Zachariah. I just like to go in there and hang out.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, and the art's always good.
Well, and when you meet somebody, you go to one of these events, and then somebody says, "Where did you meet them?"
Yes.
At the art show.
When I would leave the alley parties at your fault,
Sleep Out Louis,
and all these people would come back to my apartment on Main, and people for years after say, "Oh, I met you at
the
your
alley
place."
party.
Somebody brought me to your apartment with the other 40 people that came from the alley party.
Well, and people who didn't know what Sleep Out Louis was, she said, "Yeah, I met him at Sleep Out Louis." Sleep Out Louis? What the hell was that? Yeah, but
all the slogans and the T-shirts.
It was a cool bar.
Shelby Wimberly art opening at Stock and Bell on South Main. Stock and Bell, of course, y'all have in the magazine. Cool place, always. The thing I like about them most, and it's a long list, but they do really great art shows down there, and that's important. We have to have more spaces to show.
Well, it's so encouraging too for artists, especially because look how many places there weren't to sell their creations in the past, and now it's
and just
literally,
show, and just get out there. Somewhere, Kathy, I dropped a postcard, but in the magazine there is a half-page thank you ad for Suspicious Wines. Oh, here it is.
Suspicious Wines?
Located. This is a church health fundraiser. Can you see that?
Yeah,
How about that?
There's Zoom. Hold it steady.
The Rock Steady?
Yep.
I know that group. It's in the magazine if you can't see it here. On the 23rd of October at the Cottingham House, Dr. Nick, we're having Suspicious Wines.
Which is a cool place.
How about that?
This was Elvis's doctor's house that Elvis had built for Dr. Nick. And Jim Walker with For Memphis Magazine and a partner bought it a few years ago. It is the coolest house to go to a party.
You walk into about 1974.
Yeah.
Open the door, and there you are. And we're having lovely wines from our friends at Southern Glazers. We're having an art show with some of the very artists that I mentioned. Oh, did I mention next Friday. Savannah White has a open studio. It's on the listing. Wonderful art, great food. Could be yours, friends.
Yes.
ChurchHealth.org, Suspicious Ones, $50 a head, $80 a couple. All goes to Church Health, which is a pretty decent thing.
Yes.
And you're getting lots of great food and beverage and art, and it's going to. Oh, Amy Levere's playing. Did I mention that?
No, you did not.
Oh my gosh!
Well, there you are.
What a deal!
What a night!
I'm not charging enough.
You'll figure it out.
But it's on the website. It's in the magazine. All the cool kids will be there. I'm looking for you two, for all four of you. You better be there. That's all I know.
All right. Well, Ken Hall, it's great having you back.
Thank you,
missed.
sir. Thank you.
We're trying to get this on a regular thing,
Yeah.
and you're always a great addition. And thanks for your hard work on the magazine and getting all these events.
It is a pleasure. I love going to the parties.
Yes, you do. We'll see you at the next one.
Good.
All right, that's our show for today, everybody. We'll see you next time. It'll be coming up on Thursday this week, so check us out then, live from Lansky's. We'll see you then.